Good evening. My name is Jim Karamanis. I am with the Vintage Racer Group. Welcome to tonight's coverage of the Champions Grand Prix from Watkins Glen International. This is the VRG's Virtual Racer League. Tonight we'll bring you twin sprint races, a double 20-minute format. First we have a practice session, 30 minutes long. Followed by a 3-lap qualifying session. The first 20-minute sprint race will be gridded according to the results of that qualifying session. The second 20-minute race is gridded according to the results of the first race, with the first 5 positions inverted. For now, enjoy coverage of practice, and I'll be back with you very soon. Welcome back to coverage of the Champions Grand Prix from Watkins Glen International. Again, I am Jim Caramanis with the Vintage Racer Group. Thanks for joining us tonight. We are about halfway through the initial practice session. So far, Stefan Vappa topping the timesheets. Darren Treacle in second. Scott Krieger in third. Watkins Glen, of course, one of the courses that the Vintage Racer Group visits in the real world every October. Favorite for racers and fans alike. Here at VRG, we run the boot course. And if you ever watch the NASCAR folks, you'll see that they go through something called the bus stop and then have a very straight shot into the last turn before the back straight. And this takes an extra section called the boot, which is a very technical section, which you see Darren pulling out of right now. Back in the old Formula One days, in the 1970s, that section was used during the Formula One Grand Prix, but the bus stop wasn't. Scott Krieger rejoining the series this week. We missed him last week. Very quickly near the top of the timesheets. The livery of Scott's car, of course, very much an homage to the Porsche 914 that he races with the Vintage Racer Group. On board with Mike Kelly, currently in fourth place. Mike Kelly, of course, coordinates the modern group of race cars at the VRG Turkey Bowl at Summit Point Motorsports Park in November. Good to have Mike back on track with us again. Mike is always quick in these open-wheel cars. On board with Dave Curtis. Dave's been hanging around the top 5 all season. I believe we missed Dave last week. But it's good to have him back. VRG's own Mac McCormack. Mac, of course, runs the Drivers' Committee for the Vintage Racer Group and is a past president. Mac also running a livery, very much an homage to his real-world race car, a Mini Cooper. And I'm now joined in the booth by VRG's own Steve Ficacci. Steve, welcome to the booth. Oh, maybe I'm joined by Steve Ficacci. Steve, can you hear me? Steve, can you hear me?
Ken,
Welcome to the booth.
thanks for having me again.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Let me change my Discord settings here so you can actually hear what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you could give me a stream as well, that'd be great. Oh, I got it. Looking forward to this race. Should be a circuit everybody's pretty familiar with, and I think it's long straightaway should give us an interesting race.
Yeah, this is a track that the VRG races at every October in the real world, and of course we've raced here quite a bit in the virtual world, so everyone is quite familiar with it. And you're right, these long straights should provide some interesting passing opportunities with the draft in these USF 2000 cars.
Yeah, I don't know if it's my favorite circuit. I don't know if I have a favorite circuit, but it's definitely a great circuit. Fast, it's got some unique corners, and it makes for great racing.
It does. The punishment is very high, though, if you go off track. Not much runoff here.
Yeah, walls tend to do that.
It's one of those tracks where when you're on the track in the real world, you sort of get this tunnel vision because the walls are so high all around you. And imagine what it would be like at Monaco.
Yeah, I think you just gotta pretend they're not there. I mean, if you can do that, Yeah, you watch those guys dragging the tires around the walls. There's no way they're not scared of that at all.
On board with Curtis Bay. Looks like he's running a livery reminiscent of his real-world Chevron race car.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Kurt is like roughly, I would say, bottom of mid-pack, but he's really not far off the top times. So we're all pretty tight again.
Yeah, he's just 2 seconds off Stefan's time. It's pretty tight in the top 10.
Yeah, we have a very strong midfield now, which is awesome for the race.
Yeah, the last few weeks we've had more excitement in the midfield than up front almost. It's made the camera work pretty complicated for this producer / play-by-play guy.
Well, I blame Stefan for that, for the front.
Yeah, if we could get Darren Treacle to practice a little bit in this car, maybe it'd be more interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think it needs some doors, and he'll do it.
And some V8 power, something exciting. Maybe a VTEC or something. On board with John Wood, VRG Vice President. John currently 11th, a little off the pace for John, but I'm guessing he'll move up pretty quickly.
Like we were saying before that, the mid-pack is so tight, I feel like racecraft is more important to getting in front of that than overall speed.
Yeah, absolutely, and a lot of these guys have been practicing for the Sebring 12-hour, and it's quite a jump to go from a car with doors to these open-wheel cars.
It is. Door cars obviously are heavier. Tires probably aren't even as big as these cars. So, and I think like while they're heavier, they have more power. So it's just very different. And then I find this USF 2000 just kind of a quirky car in general. So yeah, it's a bit of a swing and a bit of an adjustment for these guys.
Yeah, I think it's going to be even more interesting next week when we go to Indianapolis, because that looks like it's going to be another track similar to Daytona, where the slow speed stuff is too slow for the downforce to help, and then you've got that really high speed banking.
Yeah. I don't know the way to say it, but I think the track's kind of ugly. The inside's kind of flat and slow, and then you get the huge banks. It's also not very well used on the sim here, so often the official schedules won't have that featured. So it's not something nearly anyone's very familiar with. Even F1 fans probably it would be new to them to jump in and do that circuit. So it's got a lot of things against it, but I'm glad we're going there. It's always good to do something new.
Yeah, the last time I was at Indianapolis in real life, it was during that Michelin tire debacle, so it left a little bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, when you travel all that distance and watch 6 cars go around, it gets a little old, right?
Even if I did get to see Michael Schumacher win a race, it was. On board with Matthew Barber. Yeah, I think Matthew was running a little quicker the other night in the test session. I expect to see him move up the grid.
Yeah, he's really got a handle on this, I feel. He's able to navigate for 20 minutes, I think, uneventfully. Just it's the other cars at this point where, a few seasons ago, a lot of our drivers were just struggling just to kind of come to terms with the sim, and I think we're all there now, and Matt's one example of that.
John Clark right behind him. John, the newcomer to the series, but he's proven to be pretty quick. He's had some great battles with Jim Graziano, another newcomer. And they're not too far apart. We might see yet another battle between the two tonight.
Yeah, the past few weeks, we're just really, like we're saying, that mid-pack, it's at least 6 cars, sometimes 8, which when we only have, probably, 18, 20 cars on the track, that's a pretty sizable gap cluster there.
So it looks like Clark Orstrom is wearing his team livery to Darren Treacle again. I think they're on a mission to confuse everyone.
Yeah, I think they are identical.
Yeah, it looks like the same livery.
Maybe I could ask Clark to paint his wheels or something. So it looks like we got 3 cars at the front fairly close, and then a very large midfield, which is good. That'll put on a good race for us.
Well, we're getting ready to jump into qualifying here. If all goes well, hopefully we'll be able to see these guys on track. iRacing and I got along a little better this week when I was setting up the stream. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of options when you set up the different sessions, and it only takes one important one to go wrong and things don't work as planned.
That never happens. Christian Berson's the first to hit the track in this qualifying session. Good to see Christian back in the series.
Yeah, welcome back.
Now, he went on one of his exotic vacations to South America, so he was gone for a while, and then he was feeling a little rusty, but he's been practicing the last week or so and coming back up to speed. Good to see him out here.
I think this right here is probably the toughest corner in this car. It's uphill, it's a little bit slow, but because it's uphill and you're going fairly slow, you're in a lower gear, which is going to make the rear tires want to spin. But it's an important corner because the straightaway is not short after it, so...
This little corner right here coming out of the boot could be a very tricky corner because that wall's awfully close.
I never feel like I ever quite get it right. It's just it's a long, wide, flat corner, and I don't feel that the curb on the inside is necessarily concentric. So it gets closer and farther away as you go. So I always feel like I left a little bit on the table, but putting the power down on the exit in any car is a trick.
Yeah, it's not unusual to see people loop it and hit the wall on the left side there. on board with Darren Treacle. Let's see what Darren can pull out of the bag here. I know he's got a lot of virtual laps around Watkins Glen.
Yeah, based on the practice times, I think as long as he could be, top 3, those front few guys will be able to race. When we ran the Skip Barber cars here, obviously they're a bit slower, but, if you were close in speed, the draft was enough to tow you along. This car seems to suffer a bit with the wash of the front wing, where you lose front downforce and the car is going to understeer. But I think the straightaways here, there's enough of them and they're long enough where if you're kind of within a half second, you could probably just hang on for a bit.
Takes a long time to put a lap in here. I mean, just the out lap alone is, you're probably up to 3 minutes before you even start your first lap.
Yeah.
It takes a good 5 minutes to just get one lap in the bank here. It's a big track. I know it seems like every time I've been on this track and we've had some black flags, it just takes forever to get off. And Stefan, of course, very quickly goes to the top. No surprise there. A little bit faster than his practice time.
Yeah, that's a real fast.
That's a very fast time. Looks like Darren went a little faster too, but boy, Stefan's really put the hammer down there.
Yeah, I hate to say it's out of reach, but based on the practice times, I mean, that's super fast. I mean, that's almost a second faster than anybody else went in practice.
Oh, and Mike Kelly looks like he went faster than he did in practice too, and he's second and a half off of Stefan.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like Stefan's parking it after one lap.
He's confident in that number. I'd be too. I mean, like I said, that's fast.
No one's gonna get close to that, I don't think.
So we have 3 laps to do it. If you're not as awesome as Stefan is right there, I would argue, go out and kind of get in like a good banker lap, safe, don't mess up the car, no curbs, and then push on the second and third one after you have that lap in.
I'll tell you what, everyone's getting quicker. I mean, Bob Lang just ran a 52 flat, which is, that would have been lightning fast in the practice, and he's only 5th here.
Yeah.
Ian Wisman
Now,
laying down a quick lap.
I was gonna say, I did notice when I drove this car that that first lap is a little bit faster than the rest. So I guess if you just get it right, there's definitely some speed there.
Could be that Stefan parked it and he's going to go back out again with fresh tires because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got enough time to do another full segment.
Yeah, you know what? You could probably do that 3 times because often it'll count your every time you start finish line as a lap. So because we're doing a 3-lap qualifying, even if your second out lap counts, that will only be your second lap.
Right.
So you would get 2 flyers on fresh tires.
Now, if you put down a solid first fresh flyer like Stefan did, you can take that chance.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's a bit of a risk.
But yeah, he is. Looks like he's back out there. So.
And we're already halfway through this qualifying session.
Like you said, just long laps. They eat it up. I'm noticing it looks like we're pretty close to our practice order in qualifying. Nobody seems too far out of place.
Yeah, it looks like John Wood popped up a couple spots. Ian Wisbon a couple spots, but overall, no one's too far away from where they were in the order before. Although I'm looking at 10th and 11th, and Clark and Graziano are right on top of each other again, so I'm looking forward to some more entertainment there. Scott Krieger moves up. Good lap from Scott, taking 5th place. It looks like Bob Lang's excited because he's already doing donuts. Look at that. We're on board with Dave Curtis. Dave up to 4th right now. Dave has been one of the quicker guys in the series all season when he's been able to participate. He's been traveling a lot for work.
Yeah, I mean, as we see, like, as we've switched cars, different guys have, just tend to gravitate better to different cars. So maybe this car agrees with them.
Tell you who I'm not seeing tonight is Dave's good buddy Carlos Bonds.
Oh yeah, he's missing from the list there.
Yeah, missing Carlos. Always has the most entertaining livery of the night. I mean, without a doubt.
Yeah, maybe he's following from YouTube. If you are, hope you're having a good night.
Yeah, if you are, we miss you, Carlos.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Well, it looks like we've got 17 cars on track tonight. Still waiting for Ralph Solomon and Kurt Usbay to put down some qualifying time, so. Looks like Solomon is on track. There he is.
Yep. And I think Kurt, I don't know if he had issues or just took a little too much curb here and there. He's got 3 laps that were disallowed.
Yeah, Ralph might be in the same category there. Yeah, the thing with qualifying is if you go off anywhere, your lap is disallowed.
We have something called a 0x, and that would mean like you just brushed something, or like you kind of did something but maybe didn't, and even those will disallow a lap. So if you just kind of get too close to one of these walls or take a little too much curb, it's not considered a clean lap and won't count towards qualifying. Sometimes it seems harsh, but I think in the long term it works for us. It stops some shenanigans that can happen on some circuits where maybe a cut could happen here or there.
Yeah, it seemed to work out really well this season.
Yeah,
participants really like the format. Gives them the chance to just do it on their own. It can be very stressful when there are other cars on track with you, especially if you're only doing a 15-minute qualifier.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had a bunch of people in the early seasons with when Corona was really on fire, but I thought maybe things kind of were dying down as Corona was dying down, but this, I think, has been probably one of our healthiest seasons in terms of car count.
Yeah, it's been pretty healthy. I mean, we've been up close to 20 most of the season.
Yeah. And I think that this is a good car/track combo. I'm surprised we don't have more guys tonight.
All right, let's see if Ralph got a clean one here.
Yes.
All right, way to go, Ralph. That's always a good feeling. Oh, and he's celebrating. Good for you, Ralph. Looks like Jim Graziano's done. Mac McCormack. I'm going to guess he probably got his qualifying laps in, but maybe taking a little extra practice here. If you don't pull into the pits, it will let you run until the end of the session.
Yeah. And, depending on your comfort level on the track, I think it's a good idea. If you've been, if you ran a half-hour practice and now you're 15 minutes into qualifying, it may be better to take a break. But, yeah, if you need the track time, definitely should use it now. The track state will carry over, so it's almost as if, as we're seeing it, the track won't change much. Where, if you, let's just say you quit practice and let's say the sun came out and the track changes before the race, that could be a big swing. But just by staying on the track until the last few minutes, you'll be the most comfortable with the conditions you're about to get.
Looks like Mac is headed for a 9th place grid spot. Our qualifying results, of course, unofficial at the moment.
Yeah, he's I was just gonna say a few tenths behind where he was in practice, but it's gonna put him right in that mid pack that we've been talking about. So. Yeah, I believe he's the only car left on track, so everybody's gotten their qualifying laps in, and about a minute and a half till we jump to the grid.
I think everyone's had their swig of water by now.
If it's okay to talk about, last night we did our Sebring practice. You mentioned it a little bit earlier. You were in the P2 car, I think it was?
I was in an LMP2 car last night. It was great fun.
And that's the fastest of the 3 category classes that are available at Sebring. What'd you think?
I think that the grin it puts on your face is immense. The qualities and capabilities of the car are sort of unworldly, and the penalty for making a mistake is very high. So we're sort of rolling the dice a little bit if we end up racing that car at the Sebring 12, but it's an awful lot of fun. It's addictive, honestly.
Yeah.
And, John Wood and Ian Wisbin are on my team, and all 3 of us just love the car.
Yeah, so if you end up going with that car, based on Daytona, I want to say those cars are about 10 seconds a lap faster than the other class, than the next fastest class. That's not including the 3rd class. So I mean, you're going to be passing, I don't know, probably 10 cars a lap. I want to see, a lot. You're going to do a lot of passing if you drive that car.
A lot of passing. Well, here we have our official grid, and we have Stefan Vapp on the pole, Darren Treacle in 2nd. Mike Kelly in 3rd, Dave Curtis in 4th, Scott Krieger in 5th, Ian Wisbin in 6th, Bob Lang in 7th, Jim Graziano in 8th, Mac McCormack in 9th, John Wood in 10th, John Clerk in 11th, Matt Barber in 12th. In 13th, we've got Clark Barstrom, 14th, Christian Berzins, 15th, Eric Russell, 16th, Ralph Salomon, and Kurt Uzbay at the tail end. And we should be getting green pretty soon here. Looks like we're waiting for a couple drivers to take the grid yet. Darren Treacle and Mike Kelly still missing. Maybe they're trying to play some games with our pole sitter Stefan Vappa.
He's been ready for every trick. I'm not sure that's going to get him, but hey, gotta try.
All right, everyone is on the grid now. And here come the lights. And we're off. Boy, Stefan gets a really good jump there.
Yeah, whenever I've raced with him, I believe he's using a double clutch in the car, and he's able to get a good start with it.
It's like Mike Kelly and Darren Treacle also getting a good start, and this draft is already paying dividends. And
we're too wide into the bus stop.
Well, that was
I was not expecting a huge draft like that. We've had a fairly clean getaway for this first lap so far.
You can see that draft pulling Treacle in just a little bit, but looks like Vapa's got too much speed. And I just don't think that straightaway, climbing the hill like it does, is going to be enough.
I think Darren's going to have to focus on his turn one, and if he can nail it and maybe get too wide and force the issue and just get in front of Stefan. Because, based on the practice and qualifying time, Stefan's got a bit of an advantage, and, one slip up by the second place car, and he's going to be gone. So, if you're in front of him, you got a better chance of holding him back than just trying to hang on to his draft behind him.
I tell you what, Mike Kelly's on it today. He's holding on to this front pack.
He is. Looks like they're a little bit strung out more than they were last lap. Let's see where they end up before the bus stop.
Ian Wisbin now up to 4th. He's made up 2 spots. And John Wood up to 5th. He's made up 5 spots since the start of this race.
Yeah, Ian seems to have come around lately with this car. I think it's all that track time he's getting.
Oh, Scott Krieger takes the position on John Wood. Looks like we had a few drivers that has some kerfuffles. Let's see if we can pick up what happened to Bob Lang. This is at the very start of the race. Looks like Bob Lang and Dave Curtis had a little incident here. Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we just had some guys spin. That's too bad. Looks like Christian Burson's had an incident there, too. His issue was in the same spot.
Well, fortunately, in 15 minutes, they're going to get another chance.
Back up front, Treacle has closed the gap to Vapa. Just about a half second apart now.
Yeah, he definitely has. And you can't count him out after the way he navigated Daytona. He sure figured out a way to use the draft to his advantage.
Looks like Jim Graziano's in the pits. Oh, looks like Ian Wisbin has crashed. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. On board with Graziano. Oh, no! Oh, that was rough. And Wisbin had an issue,
Is that Ian he collected, or
no,
who's the stop car?
This is Ian. Ian lost it on his own.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was Ian.
Yeah, that's too
tough.
bad. Yeah. Rough for both of those guys.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's blind, but there's definitely not a lot of room when you're trying to hit that exit. You're just going too fast, and you can't slow down enough to make the car lower once you're committed.
You can't slow down. You can't see what's ahead, and even though the track is pretty wide, there's not that much space. When you're committed, you're limited where you can go.
Yeah, I feel like I'm often, out on that curb trying to keep it off the grass. So, I mean, a few inches here or there is about all you can do for adjustments at that point.
I see we've got Brian Walsh following us. Good evening, Brian.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Brian, of course, with Razor Walsh Company.
So if people have questions, happy to answer them. Drop them in the chat.
Brian, of course, is one of my Pinto brothers. He races probably the most famous vintage racing Pinto of them all. It's a car his father raced professionally back in the 70s.
Oh, cool.
Well, these three are keeping together. Treacle and Kelly are doing everything they can to keep Stefan honest. It sure doesn't look like Stefan's in the mood to make any mistakes tonight.
No, he's been pretty perfect since I jumped in and started watching him today, and he's not. I mean, he does have a pace advantage, but he's not giving anybody any avenues to make anything up either.
Dave Curtis taking the position from Kurt Uzbay. Dave trying to make his way back up the pack. You know, he's got enough time here. He might be able to sneak up to 5th position. If he does, you know where that lands him. Working on Bob Lang right now.
Yeah, Kurt's doing well. I mean, he started back row because he didn't set a time, so he's halfway up the pack already as well.
Yeah, good show from Uzbay. He's made 6 positions from the beginning of the race. Dave Curtis continues to work on Bob Lang. Bob making his car a little wide. I don't think he's going to be on the outside. Yeah, he's clean pass. Good driving by both of them. Looks like John Clerk is going blinkety blink. That's going to make it interesting for Dave Curtis to try to run him down.
Oof. Yeah, that can be distracting when that's going on. I mean, for all drivers, even the blinking driver, you typically what that means is their internet connection's having some trouble, and you know, the sim can't keep track of them. But even on their end, all the other cars blink. So all the other drivers got to deal with one blinking car. He's got to deal with 18.
John putting the move on Mac McCormack. McCormack giving plenty of racing room. They are side by side going up the hill. Looks like Clark is going to keep it, and Dave Curtis might be able to take advantage of this as well, and he does.
This is going to be interesting coming down to the bus stop. Oop, they all single file before they get there.
Curtis,
that's a smart move.
Yeah, Curtis taking the position on McCormack. He's going to keep working on Clark now. Bob Lang trying to make a move now on McCormack. Boy, it's all fast and furious here, isn't it, Steve?
It's that mid-pack we keep talking about. I don't know why it just keeps working out, but it's great.
It's getting better and better every week, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't know how many months we've been at it now, but now that we're in our second open-wheel car and everybody's adapting to it well.
And the mid-pack's gotten more interesting than the front of the pack. Putting on a great show. Oh, and Dave Curtis makes the move on John Clerk. He likes that spot right there. Toe of the boot is Dave's friend. Nice work. So he's up to 7th. Can he get 2 more? John Wood's up to 4th.
Yeah, so he just clicked over lap 6, so we're halfway through. Stop car.
Looks like Scott Krieger had a problem here.
Oh, he's crashed up there on the right.
There we go. Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, we were talking about that corner. It's just a little bit tough to get the power coming out, and tends to oversteer a little too heavy with the right foot.
Well, that puts Dave Curtis up to 6, and he's 1.5 seconds behind Matt Barber. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at his lap times. I mean, he's fast. You know, 152 flat, and the cars in front of him are 153s, so there's a lot of time left. I mean, he can get those next 2 spots.
He might only want to get one of them, though. Of course, 5th place is the pole for the next race. That's right. Jumping back in. Kelly is still hot on the trail of Treacle. He has not let him get gapped this time. Oh, is Darren having some issues with... Oh, did you see that? It looked like a wheel was hanging off of Darren's car.
Yeah, I think he's going a little too fast. That must be some net code, right? I mean,
something's going on. It looked like his tire came back, but...
Okay, yeah. Ooh.
That net code is going to make it difficult to drive the car. It'll make it difficult for Mike to follow him, too.
Yeah, I've raced a bunch with Darren. Haven't noticed him having any types of issues like that.
Seems
coming up on traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, Stefan's just put a lap on Jim Graziano, his doppelbanger there. It looks like the disappearing act has worked because Treacle put a little bit of a gap on Mike Kelly.
Yeah, Treacle got a little closer to Stefan, but I think it's a little too late right now.
About 3.5 minutes left in the race.
You know, I think the best place I think I'd want to be is starting second. I think the way Darren got that draft on the first lap, I think if you're ready for it and you're ready to capitalize on it, that may be the best place to be.
Oh, just looking at the purple time there. It's Treacle.
Yeah.
Fastest lap of the race. Could make for a very interesting second race. Darren will be starting in front of Stefan. Right now, they'd be 4th and 5th.
Let's say if the race ended right now, Matt Barber and John Wood would be on the front row. Ooh, bless you. And yeah, the 5 cars there in the reverse order and the speed difference would definitely make an interesting first 3 laps.
Looks like Kurt Usbay and Mac McCormack have a good little scrap going on here. Scrap for 8th place.
Stefan's last 2 laps were in the 51s, low 51s, but you know he's had some real fast low 50 laps, and Darren has been in the 50, so he is chipping away at Stefan. I don't know if it's just he's getting through the traffic more efficiently, or if possibly Stefan let off the gas a little bit. I mean, Darren's not that far behind. He can't afford to let off too much.
Or Treacle's just learned the car. I mean, as we know, his first lap was the first lap tonight in the practice.
Yeah, that's very true. Maybe he's figuring some things out here.
We know he's very much at home with his track. So Dave Curtis had an issue. Let's go back. This is
That's disappointing.
This is Ralph Solomon here with an issue. Oh, he hits the wall.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a big one.
Yep.
And let's see if we can figure out what happened to Dave Curtis. Dave was up to 6th position here. And looks like he was trying. Oh,
stars in the grass.
Say, boy, you know, it's that spot. That spot is just ruthless.
Yeah.
Back up front, Fappa's got a comfortable 2+ second lead. I think he's just taking it easy right now, just doing enough to keep Treacle behind him. I'm sure the blinkety blink is in his mind too. Boy, Treacle didn't come back at all.
No, Darren's in 3rd.
No, he's back in 2nd. Yeah, he's definitely having some netcode issues here. Oh boy, he's in and out. We're not seeing him at all on the stretch here.
I mean, there is a point where iRacing will just kind of kick you from the session because your connection's too poor. Which I'd hate to see happen, but you know, with the way he's on the track less than he's being shown. You know, we see him less than he's disappearing.
If I'm correct, this is probably Vappa's last lap.
Yes, he's on lap 9. Well, no, lap 9 of 10, so we should be getting the white flag this one, I believe.
So that had put Kurt Uzbey in 5th. It looks like John Clerk just passed him. John Clerk now in the top 5, sitting in the catbird seat for race 2.
Yeah, so much has changed these last few laps. Just shook up the order.
Treacle's falling down. He's down in 4th now. I think the netcode caught up to Darren. Yeah, Mike Kelly's up 2nd with a lap to go. And Treacle's down in 7th. Oh, he's in trouble.
Oh, I think he just got kicked off the service there. I see a little note, his throughput fell.
Oh.
They may have bounced him. That's
Yeah.
terrible, but...
Well, and that's really bad because that means he'll start at the back of the pack for race 2 if he's able to get back into the session. So I feel like we've just been robbed of a great race because he was showing the speed.
I think it'll still be exciting if he's got to start at the back of the pack.
Yeah. It'll definitely take away some of Vapa's issues. So I don't see anyone else challenging him for the win. Although Mike Kelly's well into the 50s now, so if he can jump on the draft, anything's possible, I guess.
I mean, Mike Kelly, if that last lap was about 6 seconds behind, so I mean, he's averaging, I guess, like half a second a lap, which is a lot, but I mean, I feel like that's draftable. So if Mike Kelly can just follow, maybe if he learned a little bit, or following earlier, it could be enough to make a race of this.
That puts John Wood in 3rd. Kurt Uzbey now in 5th will be on the catbird seat for race 2
It passed 12 cars this session. He gridded in 17th.
Yeah, Kurt is the big winner tonight with the plus 12. If he can hold on for this last lap.
That's it. Checkered flag for Stefan.
Yeah, Vapa's over the line. Kelly's over the line. Wood making his way. Yeah, Darren fell all the way down to 17th. Well,
That's tough. He was having a good race.
He was having a terrific race. Hopefully he'll be able to reset and get back into race 2. We'll keep our fingers crossed. There's not a lot of time here.
No, usually when we do, typically an official race is a 2-minute, grid. But when you do a heat and a race, I believe it's only a minute. So, yeah, hopefully he can get back in. I do see a little message that said he's connected, so I'm hoping he's going to be able to start again for us.
Well, our unofficial results. Stefan Vapa in 1st, Mike Kelly in 2nd. John Wood in 3rd, John Clerk in 4th. Kurt Uzbey in 5th will start on the pole for race 2.
Yeah. So, started last, now he's starting front.
Yeah, he started last, race 1. He's going to start 1st, race 2. Mac McCormack, 6th. Bob Lang, 7th. Christian Bergson's 8th in his return. Well done. Clark Armstrong into the top 10 in 9th. Eric Russell with a top 10 in 10th. Scott Krieger, 11th. Dave Curtis, 12th. Ian Wisman, 13th. Matt Barber, 14th. Jim Graziano, 15th. Ralph Solomon, 16th. Well, that was an exciting race 1.
Yeah, that was good. It seemed like things kind of settled down, and then somebody shook it all up. The last few laps, and our order changed, and we've got Kurt on the pole.
Crashes and netcode and
Darren starting last. Yeah, it got exciting quick.
Yeah, we need to get a screenshot of this. I don't think we've ever had Uzbey on pole and Treacle on last. That's a new one. That's a new one to the VRL.
I think I see Darren back there, so he has reconnected.
Yep, I've got him. The only person not on the grid so far is Ian Wisbin. Oh, Ian missed the start. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh, look at Stefan Vappa's start.
Careful.
Oh boy. He went from fifth to second, and he's about to hop into first. Look at that. We're in the first turn, just past the first turn, and he's already in second, fighting
side by
for
side
the lead.
Yes. Oh, so he backed up. Is that Michael Kelly right behind Stefan?
It's Mike Kelly right behind Stefan, yes. Oh, Stefan's already got the lead.
Yep.
And it looks like Mike Kelly has got second. John Wood moving up to third.
Darren Treacle up to 11th.
You know what's amazing? No one's wrecked.
Yeah, it's great. I think all that endurance practice is paying off.
Looks like Ian Wisbin may have started from the pit lane. Treacle's up to 10th now. Clark Arstrom taking 5th place.
Yeah, I was a little confused when I saw Clark again. I thought it was Darren.
Oh boy, Bursons
Oh.
goes around. Another spot for Treacle, who's up to 8th now.
It was like when Burgeon spun, he collected Mac McCormick, so those two were involved in a first lap incident.
Oh, it's too bad. Darren Treacle up 9 spots. Oh, make that 11 spots. Treacle up to 6th place.
It's Curtis and Uzbek side by side into the bus stop.
Oh, look at this. Curtis making the move. Treacle right behind both of them. Oh, boy. Uzbek gives Curtis a squeeze, but no one touched. Treacle continuing his charge. And he takes a position from Uzbek. So we're at what, on lap, is this lap 2 or 3?
2.
We're on lap 2 and Treacle's gone from 17th to 5th.
He almost ruined the charge. He's doing it too fast.
I think he would say it's not fast enough. Whatever he did, though, his connection seems far more stable.
Hopefully he can stick with us till the end here.
He's getting towards the faster car, so they're not going to be so easy to pass.
Yeah, I think he's at a perfect distance right now to get Curtis. Just the length he's back and the length of the straightaway, it's going to be timed quite well for him.
Well, Curtis is a smart driver. He'll know better than to waste any time trying to hold Darren back. And just as I figured, Curtis very smartly lets that happen, and he's going to follow Darren as far as he can. Darren
I feel like these two corners are corners that are going to hurt Curtis with the wash on the front wing.
Gives you a good idea of the size of this facility. I mean, this is just the boot here.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of corners, but the gap between them is gigantic.
It's big. I mean, this little section here would be a whole racetrack at some other motorsports parks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Lime Rock.
Yeah, that's Lime Rock right there. Exactly. John Wood is down in the 9th place. I'm not sure what happened to John. Trying to move his way back up. Oh, let's see if we can pull up a replay here. I believe this is lap 2. Oh, right here. Clark Orstrom tags John Wood.
Front wing went flying.
Well, Treacle now has the fastest lap of the race. He's working on Bob Lang. I don't think it's going to take him long to get there. Question is, does he have the speed to make a dent on Mike Kelly?
Yeah, so last time I went across the line, Mike Kelly was 3 seconds behind Stefan, and Darren was 7.5 behind Stefan. So there was a 4.5 second gap between Michael Kelly and Darren. You know, we're on lap 4, so they've got 6 more laps to go. He's got his work cut out for him. Especially, you know, Michael Kelly was hung on to the back of him the whole race, so he's no slouch.
Bob Lang's a quick driver, not an easy guy to pass. He'll make you work for it. Lang using the whole track. Treacle poking it in there.
Oh, he's got him.
He's got it. What a move. Lang might try to get him back here. Nope. Too much speed out of Treacle.
Yeah, I think Darren's just enough ahead too, where the draft's not going to help him much. Oh, they're going and they're side by side behind him.
Yeah, Curtis puts the move on Lang.
Yeah, Curtis was definitely opportunistic of Darren getting through there, so that made the way a little bit easier for himself.
Yeah, Lang's got the draft now, but not enough space to make it work for him. John Wood is now working on Jim Graziano.
In the Stefan Vappa sister car.
Yeah. Ian Wisbin not far behind this battle. So Ian, starting from the pits, he's been able to make up 5 spots.
Yeah. Says to start from the pits, this wasn't the one. Usually there's a incident or two on the first lap that you don't want to be part of, but everybody got off very cleanly this first lap. Yeah, I'm curious to hear later what happened with Ian. Oh, Ian put 2 tires in the grass, saved it.
Oh no, I've got a sad story for us. Let's see if we can catch it.
Is that Curtis Bay?
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad,
Oh, boy.
Kurt. Oh, no. After starting from pole. Does a good job
Like he
of
was going to
getting
be our
out of the
Sunday
way.
recovery today.
We were hoping. Oh, Eric Russell going around. You think Stefan saw his life flash before his eyes?
I just feel like that's just kind of the thing that happens when you're the leader. Like, you just can't have a nice, relaxing race. Like, something's going to happen. He's coming up on John Clerk. I feel like John Clerk had some good pace. Must have had some issues today.
Yeah. John started pretty far up the grid.
Yeah.
He's lost 11 places since the start of the race.
Based on the ticker on the bottom right, it doesn't look like Darren's making any gains on Michael Kelly.
Yeah, they're running virtually identical track. Looks like the top three are running pretty much the same speed.
Yeah, they're only about a tenth apart, Michael and Darren, and separated by about 4 seconds, so it's going to need a lot more than that.
I know there was some joking before the race that the other drivers were going to put some ballast in Stefan's car, but I guess they didn't get enough in there.
I have to give him a mandatory drive-through.
Wood still working on Graziano. Graziano holding his own, though. Fighting hard for a top 5.
Yeah, it looks like they're turning similar lap time, so they should be able to battle till the end of the race here.
And Ian Wisbin is in the pits. I'm not sure what happened to Ian. I'm not seeing any wrecks. You know what's really fascinating is I've got all the drivers' licensing here, and you know, it just seems like a few months ago everyone was red because they're a rookie, and we've only got 3 rookies in the field right now. Everyone has moved up the iRacing license chain. In fact, most of the drivers are B or C. There's a few drivers that are D.
If you want, I mean, all the guys want to take part in some of the special events that we have coming up, and they don't allow rookies to do that. I think a lot of our drivers have done mostly our league races and things like that, so they are quite experienced. But in the eyes of iRacing, they haven't done anything officially, so they are technically rookies. And they've been working hard at advancing their licenses and different ways you can do that. And they're making great progress. It's only been about, 2-3 weeks, I feel like we've been talking about this. And several drivers are already to the point where they can do the large endurance events.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're going to have 3 teams fielded for the Vintage Racer Group at the virtual Sebring 12-hour.
Yeah, we're still looking at maybe some different cars, but at the moment, I think we're going to field each of the 3 different car types, are we not?
That's what it's looking like right now, and we're going to do everything we can to get a stream going for all 3 cars in the race. So no promises, but we're going to make every attempt to have that happen.
Yeah, for the viewers at home, it's going to be a little bit of a logistical nightmare, as we're never going to be able to get the 3 cars in the same race. When they have these special events, iRacing puts on multiple splits, which essentially is clones of the same race. So, you know, if you imagine like the Daytona 500 was this weekend in real life, they also ran a virtual Daytona 500, and well, a whole lot more than 40 drivers wanted to participate. So they just run multiples of them, and they're ranked by skill level. So we ran Daytona. I want to say there were about 45 different races, if you remember. I don't remember what the number. It was a lot. Yeah. And, you know, that's 45 Daytona 24s going on with 55 cars each, and 4 drivers each car. Like, there's a lot of participation, and it's just going to be tough, or nearly impossible for us to get all the cars in the same race. But
I believe
we will be able to stream, and whether or not we can get them all together and compiled is another question.
Well, they were saying for the Daytona 24, between drivers and spotters, there were over 15,000 people involved.
Oh.
Oh, no, that's too bad. Bob Lang and John
Wood. Bob Lang.
Yeah. John Wood going backwards. Oh, he almost got beached, but he keeps it going.
Yeah, I don't think he lost any positions.
No, I don't think he did. He was fighting for 5th place there.
It looks like the next car behind him is still 30 seconds, so he's going to lose out to Bob Lang, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. He lost 1 spot there.
Car looks okay. He's got to limp around for 2 more laps.
John's a good driver. He'll be able to nurse at home. Treacle now just under 2 seconds behind Mike Kelly.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd see that. I don't know if it was traffic or just hard driving on Darren's part, but he's caught him, and they're going to be getting the white flag this time around, so this guy's work cut out for him if he wants to get around.
Treacle putting in the fastest lap of the race. He's coming.
Yeah, fortunately for Michael Kelly, he's about 1.4 seconds back, which isn't going to be enough to get a tow down the straightaway.
Yeah, I think he probably needed another lap.
Yep. I'm a little bit curious how we got that time down. I think Michael Kelly had to either take it a little bit easy or maybe hit some traffic. They were both fairly evenly paced.
Again, we are working the last lap of the race. Treacle has really closed the gap. Oh, and we have another car off.
It's like Ralph Solomon.
Ralph Solomon into the wall. Dropping down the order. Boy, Treacle is...
It's close.
He might have a chance at the line.
Traffic.
Then there's traffic. Kurt Uzbey up front. Oh, boy.
Oh, gets out of the way.
Uzbey is out of the way. Kelly gets by. Treacle gets by. I think that helped Kelly more than it helped Treacle.
Yeah, just where they caught Kurt there. Yeah, and that's it.
That's going to be one very happy Mike Kelly with a well-earned 2nd place. Heck of a drive from Darren Treacle. And, of course, Stefan Vappa taking victory. And Mike Kelly, as he does every week, ending the race in style. And look at that. Treacle goes right through Vappa. Oh, Uzbey taking it all out on poor Stefan. That looked painful.
And Jim Graziano in 4th.
Yeah, well done, Jim. Jim, of course, leading one of our endurance teams for the 12-hour. No official result
Bob Lang
yet.
and John Wood were able to bring it home 5th and 6th after their incident, which I think is pretty incredible because when you have 2 cars stopped like that and having to turn around, usually there's something askew on the car that it's going to make that difficult.
Even better than that, Somehow, Wood gets by Lang. I'm not sure what happened there either. Wood with a top 5 finish. I'm wondering if Lang's car was more damaged after the incident and Wood was able to take advantage of that.
I see Bob Lang just kind of putting around at the end there. I wonder if he felt a little bit guilty about whatever happened. Looks like they came together out of the third to last corner there and just let him by.
You know, that very well could be. Bob Lang is that kind of guy.
Yeah, we definitely have a good group of racers here.
So Clark Orstrom jumps up into 7th. Christian Berzins finishes 8th. Dave Curtis makes his way back up to 9th position. Kurt Isbay with a top 10. Well done, Kurt. You put on a very entertaining race for us. Mac McCormick 11th. John Clerk 12th. Matthew Barber 13th. Eric Russell 14th. Ralph Salomon 15th. Ian Wisbin 16th. Scott Krieger 17th. Not sure what happened to Ian. Looks like we lost him for most of this race after that last incident.
Yeah, I think Ian lost it that same corner we're talking about coming out. Caught a little grass, I think, on the outside. Not sure what corner, but that sticks, I believe.
Well, it sounds like some people are busy doing some donuts or something. I'm hearing it, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, it's Bob Lang.
Corner 9 is the one we've been talking about, and I think that's where Ian became a victim.
Bob Lang celebrating his 6th place. Well, let's see if we can bring our top 3 into the booth. It looks like we've got them. Let's drag them in here. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to the booth.
Good evening.
Are the 3 of you getting tired of having to meet up with Steve and I like this? We seem to be doing this often.
Never. It's always a pleasure.
I am. I'm getting tired of seeing Stefan win all the time.
So, Stefan, let me start with that. Dare I say it almost looked boring for you tonight.
So race 1 went pretty well. You have to have a bit of a pace advantage here of a certain size to be able to break the draft because it's pretty strong here, and I think it kind of has to coincide with your best lap being the same lap as the guy who's following you's worst lap, or something like that. Because otherwise, it's real difficult to break apart. So I feel like that may have happened between Darren and I on, lap 3 or 4 or something. He seemed to drop back sort of suddenly, and then I could hold the gap. And then I'm watching the relatives, and I see he and Mike are having a good old time, and I thought, well, that's good. But even with all that, I started to get tight. Around lap 7, I'm looking around. I see the treacle blimp up there, and I think it's dropping bombs.
Yeah, my boy's coming through.
And you start to get tight. You start to bring understeer into the car. Like, this is not good. So it was a tough finish to that one. And then race 2, I had a great start, and I'm looking at these guys and like, I've got to jump, but there's not really a car's width to the outside where I want to be. There's only in the middle. Like, this could go very, very badly. But what the heck? So, shot it down the middle. And it it went okay. And then, I don't know what it is with these guys wanting to scare me. I think 2 laps in a row, the guy I was following threw it off in the bus stop and started to spin back towards the track. The next lap, they go off in the boot and start to spin back towards the track. And then I get 2 laps to think I'm safe, and they come together right in the middle of the boot and just practically block the track. And I'm jamming on the brakes going, is there a hole? I got like 4 seconds to find a hole. And fortunately, one opened up, and I was able to get back out. I told Mike if I'd had my head on straight, I would have radioed back to let him know the track was a mess, but he got it figured out, so it was all good.
Yeah, so we caught one of those incidents, but there was so much going on in the mid pack that we didn't really get too much screen time on you. Honestly, it seemed like you were alone most of the time. Um,
It should have been alone most of the time, but it was much more exciting than it ought to have been.
yeah, and that start you had in race two, I would venture to say that's probably the best start you've had in any season racing with the VRL. It was very impressive to see you go from fifth to second in one corner, and boy, you're in the lead. What I think is corner three. So job well done. And kudos to all the racers for being able to hold on to it that well. Steve and I were talking about how far the mid pack has gone, and maybe a few seasons ago, an inverted start like that wouldn't have worked so well. So that really showcases the talent and skill set that we've got really all up and down the field now at the VRL. So Darren, at the end of race one, you were setting the pace. I don't know if you realize that. I believe you had the fastest lap in both races, but for some reason, netcode was not your friend. We were really looking forward to seeing an exciting race too. What happened there? You forget to pay your bill with Verizon?
Yeah, I guess. So at I don't know what lap it was. Well, I had a little bobble, and I don't know which turn it is. I know what it's a left-hander. Just before the left and the right before going on to the front straight, whatever that left-hander is right there. It's kind of a slow off camber kind of thing. But
Turn 9.
yeah, I lost the rear just a little bit, and I was able to catch it, but that was just enough for Stefan to eke out, some space, and then I couldn't make it up, and then. Yeah, I was just moseying along, and everybody just disappeared, and it was just me on the track.
Oh,
and that was it. Yeah. So, I had to reset.
Well, your race too was really exciting because I think in one lap you went from 17th to, gosh, it may have been the top 5 or 6. It was really fun, and you made your way up to third place pretty quickly. It was exciting to watch you move through the field. Sorry it had to be that way. One thing that you'll see if you watch the race broadcast is that we had a first for the VRL. This is the first time you've ever started a race last, and Kurt Isbay started the race first. So
oh wow,
that's one for the books right there, right?
That is.
And Kurt did a good job of holding on. I believe he had a top 10. So kudos to
good.
Kurt. Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun starting from the back. It was a little nerve-wracking, starting back there, but everybody played nice for the most part that I could see. So yeah, it was good.
So Mike Kelly, back-to-back second places. You are second in series points. What a night.
Yeah, I think that's what they call in NASCAR as a points night. It was a very good night for that.
Well, you're impressive all night. You were fast all night. You held on to that lead pack pretty much the entire race in race one, and you did a good job of keeping yourself from being lonely this week.
Yeah, I was really happy to be up there this week. It's a track that really flows well to me, I think. And I was following Darren for a while in race one, and then he started jumping up and down on the track. Stefan mentioned being in the blimp. I think he actually was there, and I can tell you that's very distracting. So I made a few mistakes behind him, and then next thing I know, I was in second. So not the way I wanted it, but happy to get it.
Yeah, and can you describe to our viewers what you see when the car in front of you is blinking in and out like that? What's your perspective?
Yeah, you might be right behind them, and then they start disappearing for periods of time, and you don't know when they're going to come back and where they're going to come back. Sometimes it might be right in front of you. Sometimes it might be a little bit further down the track, and sometimes they're looking like low riders bouncing up and down. So it's just the way that the game connects and disconnects them. It's very distracting, though. But I had a lot of fun, and it was interesting, race two, having some guys we haven't started with, like Kurt and John, and they did a good job in race one, and it was fun dicing with them for the first few corners. They did very well.
Yeah, well, good show. Great job tonight. Well, who knows? With a little bit of luck, you might be able to make a run at Stefan at the tail end here. You're not that far behind in points, so it'll be interesting these next 2 rounds. Do you have any seat time at Indianapolis?
I have a little bit, but I have even more at Palm Beach, so I can't wait.
All right. That sounds like a gauntlet thrown down. I like it. Well, gentlemen, congratulations. You put on a great show. I'll let you guys jump into the pub and debrief with your colleagues over there. Thanks for a fun night. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Interesting night, Steve. We're seeing the skill set go up all over the grid.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Just listening to the guys, I think it's time we put a bounty on Stefan. I don't know what it should be or how we should do it, but I think we can figure that out for next week.
All right, we'll see what we can do to make that happen. All right, well, I'm going to finish up here. I'll let you jump into the pub. Thanks again for joining me, Steve.
You have a good night.
All right, well, again, this is Jim Karamanis with the VRG. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's coverage of the VRL at Watkins Glen. We have a lot of fun doing these broadcasts. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. And we hope you'll come back next week and join us at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as we visit the old Formula One circuit there. So we'll see you next